The Wizards are looking to defeat their Eastern Conference rival going into this game. At the United Center, Chicago fans are cheering for their Bulls. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, as we get set to bring you some terrific NBA action. And now, Washington's starting group. Wall and Beal together in the backcourt. Pierce and Nene filling up the forward spots. And it's Gortat in at center.
Well, the Wizards signed John Wall to that max contract extension last season, and he rewarded them. Made his first All-Star game appearance and led the team back to the playoffs for the first time in 6 seasons. You know, the instant that steal was made, they were off and running the other way.
Ball pressure, then a run-out, Steve. That's perfection to me. We knew what was going to happen with that one when he got his hands on it.
Yeah, you know, if the ball comes to him off the offensive boards, Clark, it's going to go back down hard.
It's amazing how many points he salvages for his team.
And Wall finally adding a consistent three-pointer to his arsenal last season. He shot almost 4 threes a game and made them at a 35% clip.
Here's the pass to Wall. And the Wizards hit again from deep.
And they're on fire. They've made 4 straight shots to get this thing going.
Here's Rose. Feeds it to Gasol. He's good with the little jumper in close. Gasol's got his first basket. And Steve, defenders can't just go under on screens any longer defending John Wall.
Yeah, that outside shot keeps defenders honest, and it opens up driving angles and passing lanes for John Wall, who's one of the most explosive players in the league. Boy, the floor really opened up for him there.
It sure did. A good job getting it started before the defense can get itself set. I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Tony Snell's checked in for Mike Dunleavy. Chris Humphries has checked in for Washington. And now Beal pushing it up, and no one back to stop him.
Very positive opening quarter for them. The shots have been falling.
You know, the shooting percentage would be nice if it stayed right there, but that's going to be tough to do.
Rose pitch to Snell. Pass to Butler. A second chance effort. And he drops that one in.
Boy, that is a tough shot.
Washington leading now by 4. All with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Pierce attacking. Here's Gortat. Offensive rebound. Pierce dishes to Beal. Goes up again. Humphries with the bucket. The Bulls have gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%.
Well, the Bulls were expected to play a role in free agency this past summer with all the cap room they had. A lot of options in terms of which way they could have gone.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. Mirotic comes in for Pau Gasol. And then for Washington, Artel Webster. He's checked in for Pierce. And Sessions subbed in for John Wall.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you got to continue to go to the well.
Inside. Here's Beal. That falls. Great assist by Ramon Sessions. 7 points here for Beal.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
Washington leading now by 8. Humphrey sets a pick for Beal. Over to the left wing. Webster passes to Humphries. Dishes to Gortat. And Washington again with the bucket.
Now, I'll tell you what, they've been a step slow here early on.
I agree with you. I mean, they're allowing too many open shots. They've seemed a little sluggish to me.
Here's Snell. Shot denied. And the dunk by Humphries.
What a start they've gotten off to. A big lead for them, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
And it's not just their hot offense here. I mean, they're playing very strong defense too, guys.
Sessions with it, and Rose picks him up defensively. And Sessions kicks to Beal. And the Wizards hit again from deep.
Defensively, this team is just giving up way too many open looks.
You're exactly right. And to battle back, they've got to shore that defense up, Steve.
And the first timeout of the game called for Chicago. Chicago making some changes. Mike Dunleavy, he's checked in for Tony Snell. Heinrich comes in for Butler. And it's E'Twaun Moore checking in for Rose. And then for Washington, Nene, he's checked in for Humphries. And Rasul Butler's subbed in for Beal. Mike Dunleavy, the former number 3 overall pick out of Duke, Steve, back in 2002.
Yeah, he played on that Duke team back in 2001 that won the NCAA championship. Played alongside Williams and Boozer. You know, never really became a star, but a quality player over his 12-year NBA career.
Heinrich dishes to Gibson. And there's the 3-second violation. We've got 1:08 left here in the first quarter. Butler sets a screen for Sessions. Looking for Gortat. He gets it there. That's good. Gortat's got 6 points.
And Mike Dunleavy Jr. is the son of a former NBA player and coach, Mike Sr. Actually, I played against Mike Sr. during his days. And Mike Sr., the dad, was a 6'3" point guard. Mike Jr. at 6'9". Because of that exposure to his dad's game, Mike Jr. has always had great ball handling skills even at 6'9".
And for Dunleavy, a really smart help defender, and offensively has become more and more reliable with his three-point shot here in the latter part of his career.
John Wall's checked in for the Wizards.
Nene, a 6'11" Brazilian big man, strong and quick-footed with a nice touch. And he's a quality two-way player. And for him, as it is the case with a lot of players, it's about health. You know, over the course of his 12-year career, he's missed almost a third of available games due to injury.
Butler sets a screen for Wall. They set the pick. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. Moore's running. And the Bulls, another three. Here's Wall. Butler sets a screen for Wall. Here's Gortat. Oh, and he just knocked. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
Guys, they're really passing the ball well here in the first half.
You know, it also hasn't taken them long to make their mark in the paint. I mean, they're doing a lot of their scoring from in there.
Bulls trail by 15. So on the floor for Washington. Pierce and Nene filling up the forward spots. Rasul Butler is out there with Wall.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
And the shot's good from Nene. And the Wizards lead by 14.
Boy, they keep hammering away at them inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
Jumps up. And it's Butler with the jam.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout, just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that's not going to be able to continue if they hope to get back into this game, Clark. It's a deflating play for your morale.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, Derrick Rose has become increasingly deadly with his floater. He developed it earlier on at the park. Rose said, when we used to play in the park, there were no fouls. So that's why I shoot the crazy shots I do. Because I knew I was going to get fouled, but I still got to make the shot. His blacktop creativity is paying off, gentlemen.
Pretty impressive, Doris. Thanks.
Assist from
Tony Snell's checked in for Dunleavy. And a change for the Wizards. Porter's checked in.
They've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
Well, and that's why they're on this run, guys. They're getting the ball inside and getting really high percentage looks.
Washington's turnaround last year was in part in how they played on the road.
Yeah, they went from being a joke on the road, a non-factor really in 2013, to one of the better road teams in 2014. As a matter of fact, in the playoffs, they blitzed the Bulls on the road in that first-round series.
Good point. Rose, he's checked in for Chicago. Wall wide open. And the Wizards getting another bucket right there.
Wow, what an incredible run they're on. This is as good an offense as you will see.
Well, every single guy on the floor right now just feeling it.
Chicago calls timeout.
A big 15-win difference for the Wizards on the road between 2013 and how they ended last year. It really was the catalyst for them getting into the playoffs.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Heinrich. And it's E'Twaun Moore checking in for Derrick Rose. And a switcher also for Washington. Beal's checked in for Butler. Beal. Nice fake, but the layup off the mark.
And in the playoffs, you saw how good Washington can be on the road, as the Wizards were able to go into Chicago to get wins in that series, as well as take road wins away from Indiana.
Out to the right wing. Now here's Porter. He's covered closely. Outside for Beal. 5 on the clock. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
Nene setting the pick for Wall. Here's Porter. He dishes it to Beal. And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there. And the Bulls making a change here. McDermott's checked in. And a change for the Wizards. Sessions checked in for John Wall. Mirotic has a wide open look. No good on the shot, a bit long that time.
Well, an 8-rebound advantage like the one they have now is always going to swing the score hard in that team's direction.
And that's certainly been the case today. Their rebounding has made a huge difference.
No good from Moore.
Well, a tough shooting slump for Jimmy Butler last season. Some injuries took him out of rhythm. He was asked to play a bigger role offensively after Luol Deng was traded. Still, he's become one of the premier defensive players in the league.
And Jimmy Butler, a fan favorite in Chicago, taken with the 30th pick, Clark, back in 2011. And he really is a tenacious defender.
Yeah, he's a tough-minded, scrappy player. I mean, you hear about his tough upbringing. It's easy to see why he approaches the game with that fearlessness and determination that he plays with.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Saul comes in for Mirotic. And it's Rose in for E'Twaun Moore. Pierce is checked in for the Wizards.
You know, when the size advantage is that pronounced, I mean, that's exactly what you should do offensively in this situation. Take it strong to the middle.
Here's Sessions. Following the basket by Doug McDermott. Pierce with it. Noah picks him up. And the foul on Paul Pierce. That is his first foul of the game. Taj Gibson's checked in for the Bulls. And a switcher also for Washington. Humphries checked in. None of the defenders wanted anything Clark to do with him on that jam.
And I do not blame him at all, partner. He was coming in with a bunch of steam and was ready to posterize whoever decided to get in his way.
All right, I understand, fellas, but come on. You got to challenge him a little bit at least.
Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
John Wall's checked in for Sessions. Wall attacking. There's Beal with the three. They grab their own miss. Humphries. And they convert at last on attempt number 3.
Boy, they've really dominated on the glass, and of course they've done a lot of good things here tonight, but the rebounds have played a major factor.
Hey, Steve, you know rebounding always one of the key barometers in determining the victory.
And it's Butler with the jam.
Make it two hands for safety. That's what they say, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. And he was ultra safe with that dunk.
No reason not to be.
Might as well remove all doubt, right?
Pierce inside the three-point line. Can't hit the step-back jump shot. And it's Butler with the jam.
He put that lead pass in perfect position for his teammate.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Wall again throws. Outside, Wall. Here's Humphries. They shoot again. They had a number of cracks at it, but came away empty-handed. And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. It's the Wizards leading by 17. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after our halftime. Now it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Chicago with the ball. 17-point game. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. So the Bulls 5 right now. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. E'Twaun Moore is out there with Heinrich. And it's Snell in at the 3.
You know, they'll want to generate more of those shots in tight, guys.
Nene, I think, an underrated defensive player. Not a big shot blocker, but he has tremendous size and strength, and he can move laterally. So he can really move, cover the pick and roll, and switch on to guards, an effective defender.
They recover it. The shot by Butler, nobody around. No good from outside. To the paint. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Snell, that's good.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau worked with Clippers coach Doc Rivers in Boston for many years, and they remain close friends, often sharing notes. Rivers said of Thibodeau, "He's the best mind I've ever been around. People keep expecting them to fall, but he holds them together. It's his system, but it's more just his way. He simply doesn't relent, Kevin."
He makes his players believe, Doris. That's something they both share in common. Thank you. And Washington making a change here. Beal's checked in.
He's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
Gasol goes in. And there's the call on Nene. That'll be his second foul of the game. Brooks checked in for more. Gasol passes to Snell.
More often than not today, those shots have not dropped for him.
And Beal kicks to Gortat. Now the dish to Beal. Takes a three. Bulls trail by 17. Brooks outside. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the game here.
And you look back at last season, he shot 87% from the foul line.
And guys, if a game was coming down to the wire and an opponent needed to foul, I mean, he was the guy they wanted with the ball in his hands. I mean, shooting the free throws because of his proficiency there.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. Rose comes in for Brooks. The Wizards also changing it up. Humphries comes in for Nene. And it's Webster in for Porter.
You know that old saying, the more things change, the more things stay the same. That applies to Chicago. Once again, they were incredibly tough at home with their defense.
The Bulls have gone 0 for 1 at the line. This is their second trip to the line tonight.
Now, the numbers last year for them at the line, not great. Just 73% free throw shooting as a team.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
And the Bulls making a change here. Dunleavy's checked in. And here's the fast break. Rose leading the way. The shot by Heinrich no good. And that tough defense by the Bulls here in Chicago, Steve, helped them to 27 wins in the United Center.
Well, a tough defense can stifle a lot of teams, and the Bulls have that for sure. That's been the strength of their club for a long time. And when you add that to this kind of home court advantage, it's a pretty tough combination to beat.
Inside to Gasol. Dunleavy for three. Washington leading now by 16. Here's Webster. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got his third rebound on the night. Dunleavy for three. And that one's good. Dunleavy's got 5 points so far.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
It's just beautiful basketball to watch, Clark.
And Webster kicks to Humphries. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Boy, Chris Humphries is clearly not flashy, but he is a worker on and off the court. Has always been a strong rebounder, especially on the offensive glass. And never afraid to get in there and battle. He never shies away from contact. If you want to get physical, he's not backing down.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Mirotic is checked in for Gasol. Butler comes in for Kirk Heinrich. And Moore subbed in for Rose. I like that they're taking it inside and taking advantage of each opportunity, Clark, to chip away at the deficit.
Yeah, and doing it with the dunk is a major energizer, too. gets the momentum going.
Yeah, and I think the interior defense, as good a job offensively as we saw. The defensive presence was almost non-existent. Well, they may see this lead disappear if they continue to give up those easy points.
And Humphries, lightly regarded as a defender, but, you know, Steve, I think he made some strides last season.
I agree, Kevin. He blocked shots at a high rate. You know, in the past he's struggled against the quicker power forwards, but he's got the size and strength to deal with the real strong fours around the NBA.
And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Chicago making a switch here. Noah's checked in. And the Wizards making a change here. Butler with the ball. Now Beal defending. Fires at the elbow. Here's Noah. Lays it up and banks it in.
And he just used his height that time down low. That's going to be pretty hard to defend against.
So timeout called here. The first for Washington. Derrick Rose is checked in for Chicago. And then for Washington, Seraphin comes in for Chris Humphries. And it's Bynum in for Sessions. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's foul number 2 for him. 1:33 left in the third. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
And the other thing they're doing, Clark, is scoring a lot of points off turnovers, forcing mistakes, and cashing in.
Tony Snell's checked in for Dunleavy. Nene, he's checked in for Washington. Butler comes in for Beal.
It was predicted by many, and I count myself amongst those who felt the Wizards would take a nice step forward and be one of the surprise teams in the East, and they certainly didn't disappoint.
Rose. And he gets it to go. Rose has got 4 points this quarter.
Little touch of class there, guys. The end of that play with the finger roll.
Here's Nene. That's good, and it's Bynum with the assist. 10 points for Nene. Bulls trail by 16. And Butler gets it to go.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They sure are. That's 3 straight buckets that have come off of assists.
The pass to Butler. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
The turnover difference hasn't been in their favor, but you know what? It hasn't really slowed them down too much. I like the fact they're staying aggressive here.
Pierce is checked in for the Wizards. Chicago calls timeout.
After a 5-year absence from the playoffs, the Wizards were able to get back into the postseason last year. Big step for the franchise.
Chicago making some changes. Pau Gasol's checked in for Mirotic. McDermott comes in for Tony Snell. And it's E'Twaun Moore checking in for Derrick Rose. Kevin Seraphin, he's checked in for the Wizards. Bradley Beal comes in for Butler. Beal with the steal. And here we go. Washington fast break. And the shot's good from Nene.
Strong rebounding, and he's rewarded with the easy putback.
Now here's Moore. He's got 13. 4 seconds left. Can't get it to go.
And, you know, the rebounding...
Here's Wall. So on the floor for Washington. Wall and Beal together in the backcourt. Pierce and Nene filling up the forward spots. And it's Serafin in at the 5 down low.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. I mean, they're really pushing them around physically at this point.
Pass to Beal. Chicago grabs the miss. Noah's got his 8th rebound here tonight. And there's the call on Nene. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Chicago making a switch here. Snell's checked in. Then for the Wizards. Porter's checked in for Pierce. And it's Butler in for Beal.
They've got to continue to put pressure on the defense by probing inside. That's what's really working for them.
And when you're doing the job they are inside, it takes pressure off the perimeter guys.
Porter dishes to Serafin. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And often you can learn more about a team when they are unhealthy versus when they're at full strength. And last year I thought the Bulls showed they are not and have never been a one-man show. It's all about everybody contributing for them.
As you said with the Bulls, there was a tendency to think that they were just Derrick Rose and 4 others, but top to bottom, this team has guys that can play.
Here's Snell. And the rebound goes to Nene. Nene's got 6 rebounds now in the game. And it's Moore penetrating. Good. With Rose out last year, Clark, as you said, the guys who are mostly role players showed what they can do.
Well, they're really unselfish at both ends of the floor, and that shows. I mean, they give great effort, they trust each other, they play together, and they always play hard, and they finish games strong, which I think is a credit to them and the coaching staff.
Pau Gasol over the last few seasons dealing with a number of lower body injuries. Knee tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, groin, toe. I'll tell you, Kobe had suggested to him to try to really slim down to lessen the pressure on his joints.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. That's Dunleavy in for Tony Snell. Here's Moore. Shoots the 3.
Remember, he was hot early, 3 3-pointers in the first half, but he may have to start putting the ball on the floor. His shot's not working here in the second.
Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the 4th. And Pau never really the burly type, but for 7-footers, getting as light as possible can really reduce the pounding on those joints.
Yeah, it does. They say every 5 pounds takes significant wear and tear off your joints. And we've certainly seen that be effective for Tim Duncan. He's leaned up considerably, and Pau able to play both power forward and center. I think the lighter weight will serve him well.
To the wing right side. And that one's good by Porter. And the Wizards lead by 19.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
Now here's Porter. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. Chicago making some changes. Noah comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Rose in for Moore. Gortat's checked in for the Wizards. Webster comes in for Otto Porter Jr. Wall attacking. Great communication on the alley-oop.
Look at that lead up and down the court. They have been in complete control all night.
And it's kept this building as quiet as a library. These fans have had nothing to cheer for.
Here's Noah. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Boy, what a great job making good on the second opportunity. He stayed with that play from start to finish.
Beal gets a wide open look. Nene. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Persistence always pays on the offensive glass, guys.
It certainly did there, you're right.
And he didn't mess around with it. Straight back up with the hard slam. I love it.
Here's Dunleavy. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
You know, there are around 150 current NBA players with D-League experience. The developmental league, which started back in 2001 with 8 teams, now has 18. The structure has changed a little bit over the years, but I think you have to say that the D-League has become a big success for the NBA.
The three. Rebound, Washington. The biggest lead of the game was 24 points.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Butler with the ball. Now Beal defending. Can't connect from long distance. Webster with it. Passes it to Wall. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That is his first foul of the game.
Analytics has become a huge part of the NBA, and one element of that jumps out at me is basically the cameras that track every movement of every player and can provide info on when exactly a player gets tired to how much of their time on the floor they are actually running instead of standing around.
Some changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. Tony Snell comes in for Dunleavy. And it's Heinrich in for Jimmy Butler. The Wizards making a switch here. Pierce is checked in. It's Wall with the drive. And he converts the layup. Wall's got 5 points now this quarter. And back to the camera system you were talking about. Some teams using it more than others, but they are starting to find and use all sorts of data, Steve, from those cameras.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear how different teams are using that technology. Some teams use it to check on the club's spacing. They'll see how many times a guy is dribbling the ball compared to the season before. That's what the Celtics did with Rondo. It's really interesting. It's a tremendous amount of data to process, but the trick is, you know, making it work, making it mean something. And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, dominating performance for the Wizards.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, seemed toying with it.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin, quite honestly. They were able to do more or less, whatever they wanted to do.
Fantastic show put on. What an amazing game all around it was for Nene. Now, there wasn't much they could do to slow him down as he was converting every opportunity he got.
Humphries with it. He's picked up by Heinrich. That drops.
Just look at how quickly their lead has grown over the course of the last few possessions.
Boy, they've really saved their best for last, haven't they?
Too long in the paint. He's hit with a 3-second violation. And so he hits the technical free throw. Aaron Brooks is checked in for the Bulls. Martell Webster, he's checked in for Washington. Gibson the screen. Here's Snell. Webster covering. Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call.
You know, they can't afford to be playing so loose like that right now.
Exactly. I mean, this is when they need to tighten things up, firm things up, be more focused, not the other way around.
Terrific defensive play to cut him off and square up.
And he took a shot. Excellent toughness to get in there and make a play. I love that kind of work.
And so it's Washington easily grabbing this one. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Nene